Welcome. This is CareerForce and More for Employers, Session 6. So glad to have everyone on this call. I'm Liz Jennings, Employer Engagement Specialist. I'm so happy to have all of you here. This session is a chance to present small bits of information every single week in 25-minute sessions all around all of the resources that CareerForce can use to help you, the employer, better hire, retain, attract, and operate your workforce system. So we're so glad to have you here. Full schedule and links to the recordings, the links to the YouTube are on CareerForce and More. Well, CareerForce-and-more-employers. I will put it in the chat for you. Today, we're going to be focusing on tailored resources. There are a number of federal operated programs that all of the states across the United States run, including Minnesota. And we have my two coworkers here today, Jeremiah Carter and Lena Balk. They run the federal bonding program, special populations, and the work opportunity tax credit. So you will be able to find all of the information about tailored resources, again, on the CareerForce website, and I'll put that link too in the chat, but it's careerforcemn.com/tailored-resources-0. First up is Jeremiah Carter, and like to welcome him today. And, I've got the screenshot right now of the tailored resources, and then he'll get you right into all of those resources. Thanks.
Thank you, Liz, and good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Jeremiah Carter, Job Services Supervisor, overseeing our federal bonding program as well as our work within the special populations group. Special populations being those that are underrepresented or underserved, and typically populations that do not frequent our CareerForce locations when our doors are open. So we want to provide outreach to these individuals to help them connect with employers such as yourselves and resources such as yourselves to help them create career pathways. So if we can advance the next slide. And one of the reasons why I'm here today is to talk about the federal bonding program. This particular program is set up as an incentive for employers that are interested in expanding their workforce and tapping into an untapped labor pool, which is the justice involved population. So if we can advance the next slide. So what is fidelity bonding? Fidelity bonding is really set up as a protection for the employer against any employee dishonesty. And that dishonesty comes in the form of theft due to forgery, larceny, embezzlement, things of that nature. It is really a chance to, or an opportunity for an employer, as I stated before, that is looking to expand their workforce or hire from their justice involved population or a population that has significant barriers to employment. This is really set up as an incentive, as an insurance incentive for those employers to really, as an employer, put you at ease if you had some hesitation in hiring these individuals. Some of the misconceptions about the program is that these bonds really cover everything related to employment around these individuals. But one of the things that these bonds do not cover are liability. And as it states in the PowerPoint, if there is poor workmanship, these bonds don't cover that. They simply cover the loss that an employer may incur due to hiring a specific individual. Also, I receive a lot of calls from small businesses that are looking for a bond for themselves. We cannot bond small businesses, but what we can do is bond anyone that small business hires that fits the eligibility criteria. So again, not a contract bond, not a license bond or a performance bond, and nor are these bonds set up for any legal proceedings. Uh, if we can advance the next slide. The purpose of the federal bonding program, is the efficiency, and I say that as a service provider that provides job placement services. With this bond, it has helped us as placement providers create new relationships with employers, providing more resources and more access to employers because they do feel that sense of security in hiring these individuals. So again, as a service provider, it has provided us a chance to make fewer referrals for specific jobs. It is an extremely unique marketing tool, and it is a tool that is used in conjunction with the Work Opportunity Tax Credit that Lena will be explaining next. So these programs actually run together as they're both federal programs. Also, the efficiency of the program, it is an instant bond issuance with no red tape, and the red tape being any paperwork that could be involved in this process. With this process, if an employer is interested in bonding an employee, the process, I am the person that will complete all paperwork on behalf of the employer and the employee. There is also no charge for this particular service that the employee or the employer would incur if they were interested in using this bonding service. So, how have we rated the effectiveness of this particular program? It has actually opened up a number of new career pathways for individuals that are looking to enter or re-enter the workforce. Because when you talk about the second chance population, those that are transitioning from prisons or transitioning from treatment facilities, or those that are already in the community that are having barriers to employment, these opportunities or these incentives, again, are put in place for these individuals to really create new pathways, create new job opportunities, and really give that employer that sense of security. It has really increased the number of placements that we have, again, because these are underserved or underrepresented populations. These individuals typically don't find those really competitive career orientated jobs. So we have really created new opportunities, new career pathways for these individuals. And when you think about the justice involved population in particular, these individuals want to work, they want that second chance. And I was on a presentation yesterday, and one of the things that I mentioned is that, we use the term second chance, but for a lot of these individuals, this is their first chance or their first opportunity for that good, well-paying job. And when they get that well-paying job, they feel proud. So they are, contributing to their community, they're paying taxes, things of that nature. And then they're no longer, or they're weaning themselves off of some of the state-funded programs or the financial assistance programs that they may have used in the past. Our whole goal with these particular programs are really to reduce incarceration, reduce the use of treatment facilities, because if these individuals are steadily employed or gainfully employed, they're not turning back to some of their old ways because they have that focus, they have that job, they have that structure in their lives. We would like to see these individuals increase their earnings, and this program really sets them up to do that because the bonds are given on a 6-month basis, again, for free to that employer. And when they're given that information on a 6-month basis, it really creates a situation where there is retention gained. So it is a win-win for you as an employer because you get to keep this employee long term, and then it gives them an opportunity to prove themselves on the job for that first 6 months and hopefully continue in that position. And hopefully, it eliminates that employment barrier that is standing in the way, and that employment barrier being background or just other significant issues to employment. If we can go to the next slide, I'll explain how the bonding program works. So how would an employer apply for this particular bonding program? If you have an individual that has a significant barrier to employment, such as being justice involved, any history of substance abuse. They can have poor credit history. These individuals also could be someone that just doesn't have a work history, and that creates a barrier for you to hire these individuals. All you would have to do is contact me directly. These actual bonding programs work for full or part-time employment. Again, all we need to have is a job offer in place with a start date. So you can contact me directly. There is no paperwork for you to sign, as I stated before, and no cost to the employer whatsoever. We do issue the bonds in $5,000 increments, but we can go all the way up to $25,000 based on the level of responsibility that that individual will have on the job. And that number is determined when we have that phone call. So when you contact me, we will sit down and discuss what these individuals' responsibilities would be, and then we can talk about how much bonding you feel you need. Again,
Oh no, he's frozen. A couple of us have been having computer issues. Lately, things have been crashing, so I apologize. Lena, are you able to kind of wrap up here?
Let me see here. I can try and do my best. So, let's see here. Where did he leave off here on this slide? Yeah, there's, just to kind of start here, there is no, paperwork to sign up. There's no cost for the employer. The bond is typically issued, right, for the $5,000 a 6-month period. And it is effective the day it is written for the current employee, or the new day, or the day that the new employee starts work. So sorry, I'm not as versed in this topic, so I'm going to try to do my best, Liz. Hopefully, and I don't know if you want me to, maybe it might be best for me to maybe do my slides, maybe, and maybe Jay will be able to get back to us to finish up those last 2 slides. Do we?
Yeah, why don't we do that? So the
Yes, sorry.
complimentary, oh, there he is. There
Oh,
he is. Oh, but you're muted.
my apologies. I don't know what happened to my computer. It completely stopped. I'm actually on my phone at this point.
Oh,
So I
wow.
hope you can see and hear me okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, fine.
So I can finish up really quick. So with this, how an employer would apply, again, there's no paperwork, and the bonds are given in up to $5,000 increments, up to $25,000. When we have that phone call, the bond is actually effective at the point of us having that phone call. Once the phone call is complete, the bond goes into effect. The employer will actually receive the physical bond within 7 to 10 days of having that phone call. If we can advance the next slide. And this information is really just an update on some additional funding that we received to really focus on the justice involved community with the bonding program. So we are really trying to increase our outreach to target the justice involved community as well as those with substance abuse disorders. So we have really increased our marketing efforts to reach this community and help to create more job opportunities for these individuals. So that is one reason I am here today, to speak with you all, to really let you know that there is a truly untapped labor market and a labor pool that you can draw from. And if you do have some hesitation or reservation about hiring these individuals, hopefully this bonding program will ease your fears in hiring these individuals and giving them that opportunity. So again, we can cover these individuals with the bonding program for that first 6 months. and then we will follow up with you to see if there is additional bonding that's needed. So if we can advance the next slide, it has my contact information. And again, my apologies for the delay here, and I will turn it over to Lena. But please feel free to contact me if you have any questions or concerns. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I'm glad you made it back, Jay. You did a better job than I can do talking about the bonding program. So, but well, now moving on to some things that I can talk about today, the Work Opportunity Tax Credit Program. We're just going to give some basic information. I'll put some links in here as soon as I can to give you some additional information about the program. But the Work Opportunity Tax Credit Program, or as a lot of people refer to it as Watsi, you'll hear that term a lot. It is a federal tax credit incentive for employers to encourage them to hire individuals who face difficult employment prospects. So this program works real nicely with the bonding program. And if you hire somebody with that, is justice involved individual, this is another opportunity for you to receive a benefit for hiring that individual by receiving a tax credit, because individuals with a felony background issue, they are one of the targeted groups for the program. Move to the next slide. All right. So again, the intent is to help individuals with those difficult barriers to employment, to assist them with finding employment. There are certain targeted groups that qualify for the program. There is and we'll get to a little list of all those targeted groups. But, it's really for individuals who have faced lots of challenges in obtaining employment, whether it's a lack of education, low skills, they have a disability, they may be receiving assistance, or they maybe currently live in an economically distressed area as well. Watsi was approved for the tax credit program was approved last year to go through the year 2025. So we were very excited to get that update. It's been around for many years, so I don't see it going away anytime soon. But it is for any for-profit employer can use Watsi. Nonprofit or 501c status nonprofit organizations can apply for the Watsi tax credit, but only for the veteran target group only. Next slide. So here's just a snapshot of some of the qualified targeted groups. I will put a link here in the chat that will give you kind of some additional information on all the qualified targeted groups, because there are more than just what is listed here. But just wanted to give you an idea of the individuals that if you hired one of these individuals that fall into one of these qualified targeted groups, that they would be eligible for the tax credit. So veterans is very popular. A lot of people who are hiring veterans might like to get that tax credit as well. People with disabilities, there are specific, youth targeted groups, as well as individuals receiving public assistance in a variety of categories also. Next slide. So how does Watsi benefit an employer? So just to, give you some idea of what that could look like, what's the bottom line there, right? The tax savings, the tax credits can range anywhere from, $2,400 to the $9,600, depending on the targeted group or the Watsi eligible new hire. It makes sense to take advantage of the tax credit. It definitely, increases the bottom line and offsets the cost of hiring, for sure, definitely. Next slide. How much paperwork? Not a lot. Just two forms that need to be completed. One is the IRS form, the 8850, and the other one is the ETA 9061. We have both of those forms available on our website. Once those forms are completed by the employer and the job applicant, they can be easily uploaded into our automated application system. We've got the contact information there for you to to get access to the automated application system. But just a heads up, in the very near future here, we will be adding the access to the automated system right on the our deed website and on careerforcemn.com. So we are working on that access. But for right now, if you're interested in getting access to it today, you will need to reach out to the Watsi coordinator. Her name is Karen Marbury, and we have the contact information there on this slide for you to reach out to get access to the application system. One of the biggest things that is most important that I really hope that people hear today is that the applications must be submitted within that 28 calendar day time period of the new hire's job start date. That's really important. We get a lot of applications that come after the 28 calendar days. And so we want to make sure that you get that in there in time. That's one of the most important things, because we cannot accept it after the 28 days. That is an IRS rule. So that's really important to make note of if you are looking at submitting an application for a hire in the future. Next slide. So the tax credit is available to any size of business for any type of job. It covers temporary, permanent, seasonal work, full-time, part-time. There is no limit to the number of qualified new hires. You cannot, though, receive credit for hiring former employees, relatives, dependents, independent contractors, or majority owner of the business. But there is no limit on the Watsi credits a business can claim. And you can also, the private sector employer does not lose credit if it's not used, and you can carry it back 1 year or carry it forward up to 20 years. When you go to our website, we do have a couple of other links here that I want to make sure that I throw out there with some of Karen's contact information. The Department of Labor just released a couple of different guides and frequently asked questions, so a sheet that I think are really important and provide a lot of great information and detail on kind of, some of the questions that you might have or things that you might encounter. So there is this Watsi quick reference guide for employers, and it's a great resource to maybe get to some of the quick questions. You can always give Karen a call as well, or call the Watsi line. We're very happy to provide guidance on the process for submitting your application. And there also is a frequently asked questions that the IRS did put out as well that provides some additional insight on just some of the rules and how that applies for the tax credit program. And then right there on the bottom, we've got Karen's contact information. So definitely, again, feel free to reach out to Karen for any additional questions that you might have, or any information. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. I had a follow-up question for Jeremiah if he is still on the call. Oftentimes I will be speaking to employers who are interested in exploring hiring people from justice-involved situations coming out of our Department of Corrections systems. What do they do? Usually I connect them with you. Is that the right course? What else should they know?
No, that would be great. If they could be connected directly to me, we provide a number of programs or workshops and services where we are meeting with these individuals face to face. So we can provide direct referrals. It's just gathering that information, really looking at what the employer is looking for. So if you are okay, referring those employers to me, I would be happy to connect them with individuals that are in the job search at this point.
Yeah. And I'll put another plug in for watching the Workforce Wednesday webinar that was yesterday. Two employers from the central Minnesota region, Jeremiah, someone from Twin Cities Rise, a nonprofit that also works in this space, all had an hour and a half conversation. And it was really good. So the link right now is on YouTube on Deep Minnesota's page, and it will be posted on our CareerForce website. So it really was a good why and how to expand your hiring. Thank you, Jeremiah. Thank you, Lena, for today. Employer colleagues, please send me emails, send me ideas for our wrap up for the next 2 weeks. Feel free to send us emails too when you want to be connected to some of our other colleagues and information. So glad to have all of you here and hope to see you next week. Thanks.